cult of personality. The cult of personality. The cult of personality.
And welcome back to the Cult of Personality podcast, hosted by yours truly once again, Mikeymcchoppa. And with me today is a great new face. With me today is Funk from SOULSHINE Spirits.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up?
Nice to have you on the pod.
Same here, my friend.
So tell us, from my observations, you're a jack of all trades. I want to hear about you because I've been resisting to ask all these amazing questions while I've been in your space. You know?
Correct.
Tell me about yourself.
All right. Well, first and foremost, in work ethic, I'm a funeral director, but I've traveled so many other different roads in time, meaning I was growing weed, just a straight hustler, throwing parties. They say I'm like one of the forefathers of the East Coast rave scene in New York. So, yeah.
How'd you get involved in that, in these scenes and stuff like that?
Oh, well, as you know, I'm from the Bronx. Music is our culture.
Right.
So, at the time, I was in funeral school, getting my license, and I had some friends out in Brooklyn. And my friends in Brooklyn, they were like, yo, Mark, you have to come to this. And these kids didn't revert to me as Funk because we were in school. They just, my regular name, you know?
Right.
So they're like, yo, we got this guy. He's coming back from London, and he's bringing a whole bunch of these pills, and everybody's like loving each other and dancing and whatever. So I went to my first rave, which was Storm Rave. And from then, I was pretty much sold on the whole electronic scene and starting my own brand,
right.
which I did, Uptown Underground. And for me, I like everything outlaw. I want to go against the grain on everything I do.
Right.
For instance, with the moonshine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people like running with moonshine in their cars, dipping, and hence NASCAR. But I'm totally into like against the grain. Let's not agree with the majority.
Right. Going against the grain. I like that. Like very contrarian.
Yes.
So you were like, kind of like doing like show promoting and stuff like that when it was with the scene stuff?
Well, I wasn't a promoter. I was, I guess I was a promoter for my own brand, but we threw parties for lots of people.
Yeah.
My first party, we set up a circus tent underneath the Whitestone Bridge.
That's fire.
And hence we did our first big one,
Yeah.
What was like 1,000 people. Like 1,000 people showed up. It was it was pretty monumental. The next one after that, well, we didn't set up the circus tent no more because we did set up the circus tent without permits.
Oh shit, yeah.
So the tent was erected, put up there. I'm working. My friend Spank is watching over, making sure they erect everything's correct.
Right.
Parks Department rolls in. They're like, "Where's the permits? Well, what are you doing?" And I get my phone's ringing, and sure enough, Spank calls me. He's like, "Yo, listen, man, this lady just made them take the tent down." I'm like, "No way!" So I get home. I race over to the fucking spot, and I just went to her and was like, "Hi, we did this on the spur. We didn't really even know there was a permit to get.
Right.
A friend of mine crashed on his motorcycle, and we're trying to raise money for him. That's what this is all about."
Right.
Hence, the lady's name, and I'll never forget, is Zully Zerhide. and she was the one, and she let us go, and that was kind of where like Uptown Underground was born on that one.
Yeah.
But for the second one, we knew we were gonna have some permitting issues, and we just went inside the base of the Whitestone Bridge.
That's
and the
crazy.
pillar.
How do you guys like? What made you guys choose that spot?
It's underground. It's sick. It's a
Real
sick space
underground
inside.
shit.
Yeah. You know, hence I've done parties like underneath the Bronx River Parkway
Oh shit.
by Allerton Avenue.
Real
You know,
raver shit.
Yeah. Real raver shit, man.
Hell
yeah. That's what we love to do. The more underground we can get, the better.
Awesome. And in a bit, we'll definitely translate that to what we're doing right now.
Yep.
But before we translate there, funeral directing. What? How?
Well, funeral directing was my father's trade.
Okay.
And naturally, you know, try to follow the family trade. I got in,
Right.
but my heart wasn't there. You know, I don't want to be a vulture
Yeah.
looking for carcasses on the side of the
Scavenger.
road. Yeah, man. You know what I mean?
Understandable. 100%. It definitely is like grim as hell. You know.
Yeah, I totally like. That wasn't my thing. Yo, it's nice to help the community.
Right.
And to help people out in their time of need.
Right.
I'm great at it. However, I just want like all of us to like, yeah, we don't have to. People have their own rights and beliefs in that kind of thing, but we just try to do the best we could. You know, that's the best we could for a family when they lose one, a family member. But yeah, it wasn't my thing. I was into so many other things, and I also come from the graffiti era.
Right.
You know,
Old school New York.
old school New York. I know some unbelievable writers that are like totally world famous.
Yeah.
Came up with a lot of famous ones.
Yeah. You know, back in the pioneers of this shit. You know, I know there's not much of a graffiti culture now when it comes to like New York, especially like with over policing and shit. Back in the day, it was a whole different ball game. You know.
Oh my God, man! You know, like I said, against the grain.
Yeah, 100%.
You know.
Yeah. And where do you feel like you developed this against the grain attitude when you carry yourself? Born like this?
The Bronx.
Bronx. Real shit. That's real. I'm co-signing that one.
Yo, you know, Bronx people, we different than
Word.
everybody else. You know, yo, anywhere in New York, you're loved, no matter what. But the Bronx, we have our own kind of style and how we do things.
Yep. Real shit. I like that. Speaking of the Bronx, we're a long way from the Bronx. We're in rural Appalachia, and we're here talking about moonshine. I'm really excited for this interview, actually, because, you know, this is a music podcast, quote unquote, even though I really just like creatives and creators, people with the ability and the initiative to create. And we're talking about creating moonshine. So, with me today, Funk and Soulshine Spirits. I want to talk about the name, the image, the aura, and the energy. Pretty much the origin story of Soulshine, how we went from the raver days to now making the brew.
Okay. Well, we started with the funeral director stuff and like that.
Right.
Let's go forward after the parties, after the big rave parties,
Right.
and the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
My thought was, we went out, we invested in California,
Right.
and we were growing out there for a good part of almost 20 years.
Oh, shit.
And, you know,
How was
I
that
see.
connection established and stuff like that?
we used to buy a lot of weed from California. Like
Yeah.
I said, we always hustled.
Right.
So, you know, I tell you a true story. Man, back then, 25 years ago, I'm visiting a friend in LA,
Right.
and as we're on Sunset Boulevard, we pass the stores, and all of a sudden I see a neon weed leaf in the store, like lit up.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, "What's up with that? What is this, Amsterdam?" And he was like, "No, you got to get a permit, but you can get the bud."
Yeah.
Okay. So he goes in to get the bud, but I'm counting the traffic going in and out.
Right.
He was in there for about 25 minutes. I must have counted at least 10 to 20 people in that time, you know?
Right.
He comes out. He brought the Chronic. And we were like, yo, man. I was like, how could I get the car to go in and get some of this? Had to change my driver's license. I did it all within a day or two. Got the card, went in, and I started talking to the manager, and the manager was like, I was asking him questions like, how much do people spend? He was like, this is LA. You aren't allowed to cop more than 2 ounces, I believe, at the time.
Yeah.
But those 2 ounces would be up like, $300-$400.
Yeah.
Make a long story short, times the traffic, he's like, oh yeah, everybody's getting a substantial amount.
Right.
The most they can get usually. Where you guys get the weed from? And they're like, Humboldt County. So next thing I know, I come back to New York and I'm telling my constituents about all this, and they're like, "Come on, let's go seek it out."
Yeah,
and that's exactly what we did. We went back to LA where we kind of hit a brick wall, and then we went to we called a friend that knew somebody up in the Bay Area. Went up to the Bay Area, met a collective of musical artists.
Nice.
That were doing their thing in the Bay Area, but weed was also a very big part of their whole thing.
Right.
So, make a long story short, we meet them, and then we're like, "Hey, where do we get this?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we can get it for you, but you have to come with us north to Humboldt County." Another 7-hour trip.
Take a trip. Yep.
Another 7-hour trip up north, and we were blessed. That's all I could say. It was.
You found the Holy Land, the land of milk and honey and all that shit.
Yeah, we found the Holy Land.
That's sick, man. California is dope. A long way from out here, man. And so.
And I want to hold up. You just said California. Nobody ever kind of thinks about when the north burns and there's mountains and mountains of fire going on, and the people who land this belongs to, which is the Indians, get burned out. There's no mention of stuff like that.
Real shit.
Come on, man.
Real shit. Yeah, man. Especially in the modern times now with the fires now, I feel like that shit is definitely interconnected.
Yo, listen. Today's day and age, conspiracy theory. You don't know what to believe anymore.
No. Everything's a narrative.
Everything is looking at the screen, the information age, and the information is generated by man.
Right. By big corporations.
Exactly.
Funded by blood money and all this shit.
Exactly. So, I'm up in Humboldt. We're doing the thing. One of my neighbors out there, and this is my first time ever seeing moonshine made.
Oh, shit.
My friend Matt was, he got a dope-ass still, and I wasn't really into it yet, but it was a big still. It had a big pot. It was definitely like a 50-gallon run.
Some Wild Western shit.
So, yeah, exactly. And up where my town was in California, there was only like 350 people in there.
Some real like sticks?
225 was 225. Come on, Ishi, go. Let's go, Ish.
Go. Let's go. Come on. You have to make your cameo.
Yeah, make your cameo, Ishi. Come on, let's go. Don't touch the camera.
Yeah, go. It's all right. Every time we do the pod, I have my animals around and stuff too. It's all fun.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, man, that's cool. So you were out in like the sticks. I feel like everybody talks about Cali and they talk about like LA, San Francisco,
Nah, man.
San Diego.
We were in a one road in, one road out town.
Hell yeah.
Where, okay, for instance, my town
Yeah.
in California was where they took the famous Bigfoot picture.
Oh shit. That's dope.
And
Real sticks, real forest.
yo, hold up. Real talk. If you don't believe in Bigfoot, you're only fooling yourself.
You're a firm believer?
Okay. They're there.
100%.
They're there.
I believe you.
A neighbor of ours had contracted some of my workers.
Yeah.
So all my farm workers were Guatemalan.
Nice.
No problem. They called down to LA, and these guys are on their way up.
Mm-hmm.
We get them set up on the farm. The whole thing, everything's looking beautiful. They're in their camper. They got one of our farm dogs with them. First night, no problem. Second night, no problem. Third night, I think it just panned like it was on a Friday night when they have their little party session.
Yeah.
So they were drinking, whatever, partying, and one guy goes out, takes a piss outside,
Right.
and he swears he sees something in the tree, big figure.
Oh shit.
He goes into his camper, or they're all laughing at him. Get out of here, bro. You didn't see nothing.
Right.
He's like, no, I'm telling you. He's looking out the window, and then he turns around, and his boy goes to look out the window, and the fucking thing is standing right there.
Oh shit.
Yo,
And it's Bigfoot. Clear as day.
look, supposedly Bigfoots travel through portals. That's why they're here, there, and then gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it. I understand.
These guys called crying. They left the next day.
Wow.
Yep.
Damn. So you had to replace them and shit? You had to get some new workers?
No.
Or the site was abandoned?
Once the, the Guatemalans are they're a tight group.
Yeah.
Once the word circulated about that,
Yeah.
they weren't going, nobody was going up there.
That's so funny. Yeah, bro. And that's crazy, man. Out there, it's a lot of land. People forget it's a big state, California. So that's cool, man. Bigfoot, bro.
Yep. So, going back to seeing Matt moonshining.
Yeah.
He had a big ass still when he made his batch, his first run. And I remember back then, we're in the country. What's available to us? There's corn everywhere.
Right.
So we try to make a straight whiskey.
Yeah.
What I know now, when he was cooking his mash, he burnt it. When you burn the grain, you get a burnt taste to it.
Yeah.
So that's what his stuff came like. However, it was there in proof. It was like 130, 140 proof. Whew. The Sapphire. Whew. So that was always on my. Once I seen him make it, and I'm a craftsman.
Yeah.
Hence, you'll see everything what I do around here. Besides the weed, the distilling, I'm growing mushrooms. I like to cook. I like to.
And that's how I introduce you as a jack of all trades. Walking around your space, I'm like, I see your music inclined. Even before talking about the raver stuff, I'm like, I see you do music of some sort. I'm like, I see you grow. And cooking, we were talking about it as another canvas to paint on.
Yep.
And I like that. I like that you just have this like initiative. The first time I met you, I'm wondering. I'm like, what drives this guy every day to make a pizza from scratch?
Right.
Know?
Oh, I mean, again, as per Dave Portnoy, Boston Sports.
Yeah.
He rates pizzas.
Yeah. I've seen those.
And I know my pie, 0 flop, great undercarriage, crispy.
Nice.
And that's Dave Portnoy's love. So I'm not even I can't base my score, what I would give my score on the pizza.
Right.
But I know I'm definitely in the 8s. And if you get any kind of a rating of an 8,
You're high up there.
official tissue.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Hell yeah. Might I say, might I insist before we continue on that we're drinking some smooth SOULSHINE.
Yes. This shine that we're drinking right now is mixed with a little passion fruit juice because the alcohol is it's called passion, and it's a potato blend with juniper berries. It's like a cross between vodka and gin.
Okay.
Really, really great, easy taste.
Yeah.
Mix it with any kind of juice, and there you go.
Yeah, it's smooth.
Now, okay, going into shining, and let's say we were in the backcountry of South Carolina,
Right.
doing this. We'd make a batch.
Mm-hmm.
We'd all put it in jars,
Yeah.
and we'd you go out and sell them
Yeah.
to people, you know. And we don't have. It's a lot more easy. I shouldn't say easy. However, we're following the same method, but we're just doing it on today's
Right.
scale.
Right.
You know.
Not the 1800s.
Yeah. Well, again, there was no phones when these were doing this. You know.
Right.
Like early 20s. When the prohibition was. So.
Mm-hmm.
People enjoy to drink.
Yeah.
They do.
Rightfully so.
And so this is one of the many things I distill. I've tried everything. I've made vodka. I've made tequila. I'm a great whiskey guy. That is my specialty. Apple pie made from apples.
Oh shit.
You could use any kind of fruit or whatever you want to ferment
Yeah.
into
Something good.
yeah.
What was I gonna say? You ever be brewing any beer, or you're not a fan of beer?
I love a great IPA. However, growing up, I had like a Mr. Beer kit, and I remember giving it a try. It didn't work for me. Like I wasn't into it.
Right.
Per se.
Yeah.
But we did make wine,
Nice.
So that's like a kind of like just a staple Italian tradition to know how to make the wine.
All right.
And we did that for a couple of seasons. Great vino,
Hell yeah.
But like I said, those were my early days. As I got older, wiser. Yeah.
Real shit. I have two questions for you, and one I want to know how you came up with the name of SOULSHINE, but also I want to know how did you take what was the process of taking the operation from California to the East Coast Appalachia?
Okay. I'm a Bronx boy.
Right.
Born and bred. Going back and forth to Cali and living the lifestyle that we had out there, real remote, being away from people. At the time, I was married, and I was like, we need to go north. And I found great house at a cheap rate. It was at the time when I bought it, and we moved up here.
Yeah.
And again, we're away from people, even in this residence.
Yeah.
You can't see your neighbors. But anyway.
Which I like that about here. It's way better than like suburbia where you're like house to house, you know?
I mean, put it this way, where we are now, in California, the quickest, if you got hurt bad, they're airlifting you out because there's no way to get to a hospital fast.
Yeah.
If you got caught out there in something.
Yeah.
So coming back up here, being away from everybody, It just felt natural.
Yeah.
My real estate agent showed me this place. I jumped on it, and here I am.
Here we are.
But again, part of funk is I had a real traumatic accident in which Yale saved my life. I shouldn't be here. Big man upstairs kept me here for a reason. I am disabled. I have my things that I deal with. But I'm still a craftsman. I still
persevere,
you know? So, on the recoup of my accident, naturally, we still have the farms now. Yo, Funk, you want to go out there and go man the property? And I go, and I got busted. We sold the land right away, but I caught a little case. Make a long story short, I'm back in New York, and I wanted to grow hemp. So,
like the forefathers.
Right. So, a friend of mine,
Yeah.
who are gardeners that own lands from the Bronx. They're from the Bronx.
Nice.
I know them since childhood.
That's dope.
They have a bunch of land up here in the next town over, 100 acres. Gorgeous.
Real shit, yeah.
We got the permit. We grew 15 acres, line row. I mean, this was a huge undertaking. I've never done anything like this out in California.
Yeah.
Make a long story short, we had so much hemp, we didn't even know what to do with it.
Start making rope.
It was. We got hit with a New York. A real cold fall day.
Yeah.
And excuse me, Ish. Cold fall day.
Go.
And
Go, baby, go.
So one night under 30 degrees, everything caught frost. Next day, everything was nice and green still. A week later, everything went black and brown. So, yeah, we had...
A little setback.
Well, we spent a lot of money on a good try.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that went down. So, I lost the farm out in Cali.
Right.
The farm right here in Dover. And, I'm here. I'm up in the woods now, and I could do everything I was doing in Humboldt
right
here in New York now.
Back and better than ever.
And New York, when they played the game to get in the cannabis space,
right,
they were watching all the other states and how their programs ran.
Right.
And New York is New York. We're New Yorkers.
We
we're
are
gonna
hustlers.
take advantage.
Yep.
So it's been a free-for-all since it's been like that out here.
Yeah.
You could grow a whole greenhouse and ain't nobody bothering you. In fact, I had told my partners, I'm like, yo, man, we need to throw some real plants in the mix with the hemp because they look exactly the same. Nobody's going to know anything. And we're going to make money with that at the time. This is not hemp. This is the real stuff.
Right.
My guys were against it. And somebody came from the state to check the hemp one day.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God, you guys have the biggest plants here. She didn't go like testing anything or just look, by sight, buy. I was like, and when she left, I said, now you see why I wanted to throw 200-300 plants in the mix of 15,000.
Hemp. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Because that's, whatever time you talk, like whatever time this conversation took place, like the weed, however you want to say, like industry in New York is very new still, even though,
The weed industry in general is like a fad.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got the newest, best grow product. Every month there's a new company making something else that does basically the same thing, but they got their take on it.
Right.
And they're trying to sell you on that.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you feel about you know, the really whack weed fads like spray packs and all that cheap shit.
You know, I don't. Spray packs is the first. This is the first I ever heard of that. But
Yeah.
I'm sure that means they're spraying the weed with.
Some chemical garbage and ugh.
Yeah,
No.
You know, it's funny. Some of my workers here in New York brought me some pre-rolls.
Yeah.
I think that might have been one of them sprayed kind of packs. It was really garbage bud, but it had like a chemical flavor to it. So maybe that's exactly what I was smoking. Who knows? But I didn't smoke it. I smoked one and threw it away.
Yeah, anytime I've ever hit it, it's been like smoking air freshener and like it gives you instant headache.
Yeah, you know, being a weed grower, I've always provided my own self.
Yeah, you know, I had to ask a connoisseur.
And
I'm
then
like,
I
how
had
you
to
feel?
Outsource.
Yeah, real shit. That's dope, and that's what I like about you. You know, like coming into your space, you're very like independent, very self-sufficient, like sovereignty of sorts.
That's what. Okay, look, my whole take on things, and this goes to America and all our people here. If you don't know how to farmstead, meaning grow and raise your own food
Right.
and be self-sufficient where you don't need anything from anyone.
Right.
If you don't know how to do that, you will be in trouble.
100%.
That's it. You know, during the pandemic, one thing up here was we were away from people.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't in crowds. There's nothing like that. So nobody caught COVID.
Yeah, over here, chilling.
At least in my, but
It really just disrupted like the outside world and everything. You know, that's what.
Airborne. Who knows, man? Let's not get into conspiracies with that.
Yeah.
It happened, and I just think that that's a precursor to what's really going to happen.
Right.
So if you didn't learn from just that, you know, they're getting mad because people. Trump was throwing toilet paper at people, or paper towels, and it's gonna be, yeah.
It's gonna be It's gonna I 100% I agree with you,
Pandemonium.
because
Just think, if there was no toilet paper, they were going fucking bugging out.
Right.
What about if there was no chicken?
yeah.
Or, for instance, now eggs. 12
Yeah, prices are going up.
a dozen? Come on, bro.
No, yeah, 100%. And it's so crazy. I think of a story, you know, my partner told me where she's Ecuadorian and she'd be like, yo, bro, people be bitching in Ecuador about eggs being $3.50 for like 30 eggs. Yeah, that's what they bitch about. That's a high price for them, you know?
Yeah,
And I'm like, yo,
yeah.
we have it fucked over here.
Well, you know what? It's funny. In Ecuador, all right, I'm going to say at least 2/3 of those people in Ecuador know how to farmstead.
100%, 100%.
Absolutely know how to raise pets, animals, livestock, whatever, and grow food.
Yeah.
That's simple.
I say that 2020 and COVID was the eye opener of how dependent we are as a people on government in this country. You know,
Yes.
we realized like, wow, our health is in jeopardy, our food's in jeopardy, everything. Even after COVID and like the following years, how many like breakouts, like E. coli breakouts or like whatever? Oh, the lettuce is recalled, the beef is recalled. It's like, damn, everything's GMO'd and chemically grown, and you're like, damn, bro, kind of like, it's fucked up, you know? Food sovereignty is a very important thing, and it's something I've been educating myself on recently, you know?
Oh, man. Like I said, that's... and again, as per my grandmother,
Yeah.
my Nana, she's from Italy, and she knew how to do it. Put her in her little space, her little kitchen.
Yeah.
Don't worry about anything. She got, all about using stuff from the land.
Real shit.
Oh, yeah, man. Totally.
No, yeah. Real important.
Totally. So that's, does this all filter into the moonshine thing?
Yeah.
I totally think it does.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mentioned I like to be crafty,
Mm-hmm.
but I once I had mentioned I had an accident, and
Right.
On the recoup, I started watching Moonshiners,
Nice.
and I was like, okay, and I was on the recoup for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I was watching Moonshiners. I was like, I'm gonna try this. So I got my first 5-gallon pot, a little small one, Chinese junk that I ordered from Amazon for like $100.
Yeah.
And I started.
Yeah.
And like a chef or anything else, your recipe, your mash
Yep.
is what you drink at the end. So you better know what you're doing.
Right.
And had a lot of trial and errors. But once I got really good at what I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
it was time to upstep my game. So, you asked where SOULSHINE came from.
Yeah.
SOULSHINE comes from myself, and my best friend Tom Ervelina, who's upstairs.
Shout out Tom. If you want, you can move the mic in front of you just so you can capture.
Yeah.
There we go.
So yeah, I mean, basically it was kind of Tom's brainchild as far as the branding, and when he said SOULSHINE, I was like, SOULSHINE Spirits, the Triple S. Okay,
Yeah.
we could rock with that. And his slogan, and because Tom's is a mathematician, was approaching affinity. The I forgot what they call it in
Sounds
terms of
gangster.
it, but it's a math term.
Yeah.
And man, my slogan is, if you're my friend, you'll never be dry.
I like that one. I like that. So with SOULSHINE, you know, and even with that slogan, and then going back to the rave days, or even being a funeral director, I think you have a good mind to know what people want.
Yes, that is. I think one of my greatest qualities is I'm like a host.
Right.
I
Yeah.
can host things. Like, I'm really good at doing that. From the music era, from when we were growing the cannabis out in Cali, and we had thousands of pounds to trim by
Right.
hand.
Right.
We had to host 50, 60 trimmers on our land. Everybody intense, campers. You got to know how to manage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I used to do that pretty good.
Hell yeah, man. And so now we kind of established like this setup into how you got into everything. Well, the past aspect of everything. What is going on in the present? What
Okay.
does SOULSHINE have going on right now?
Going into, I mentioned my partner, Tom. Tom got me a better still,
Yeah.
a more professional still, makes a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
These are now behind us in that area, or behind the seat.
Yeah.
I use a 20-gallon pot.
Mm-hmm.
So if we do making a 5-gallon pot, your turnout of alcohol is only probably going to be like maybe half a gallon.
Okay.
Okay, of good, nice, drinkable liquor.
Right. So what's like a lot of excess and stuff that comes with the mash?
Sure.
Yeah.
Once all your alcohol burns out, then it becomes, and you'll see it. As you see me make a run, rather, when we have the mash brewing, and we start a run, the first 3 or 4 gallons out of a 20-gallon still
Right.
is great liquor. So I got 2 stills, both 20 gallons, and I use both of them. So I could eat, when I make my mash, I make a 50-gallon mash.
Nice.
So I always have enough to fill both stills up and run them at the same time.
Nice. And before we go into like deeper into what you got going on now, kind of give me the rundown of like how it is to run a mash, or like the process of making your shine.
Okay. Well, like I said before, you have to be a chef.
An artist even.
Yes, and it's knowing how everything's going to ferment, what's going to incorporate easier than less. there is certain naturally you start your fermentation with yeast, but there's other products like amylase and stuff like that that backs the yeast up, that helps convert the sugars into alcohol. So that's the deal with that. And then trial and error. And again, I have given my whiskey to a lot of people, and I can't even begin to tell you how many, like, everybody's like, yo, this is unbelievable. So
firsthand. Yeah, this is good. I've been sipping on this whole time.
And this is passion. Like I said, this is a blend of potatoes, which makes vodka, and juniper berries that make gin.
Ooh. You're real educated on this stuff, man. And did you learn all this information just like watch? Is it from the Moonshiners? Was it from time in Cali? Or did you ever just like dive into it?
Honestly, when I got into Moonshiners, and I know what these guys mixing their grains were, and there'd be episodes where these guys were just looking for specific grains to put in their alcohol or fruit.
Yeah.
Whatever medium they were going to use to turn into the mash.
Yeah, man. Dope as hell. So now, back to the present. What do you got going on in the sense of like marketing? What do you got going on?
Well, right now, SOULSHINE, we're taking the against the grain approach.
I like that saying for you as well, especially with grain being involved in the process, right?
Yeah, we're taking the against the grain position. Right now, I want to get my liquor into everybody's mouth and have something good to say that they like it.
Right.
You know? In New York, there are various ways to get permits as a small distillery and whatnot.
Right.
But, you know, money, you're in the system then.
Yeah.
And that's why we're taking the against the grain approach. And we're doing it like the guys did back then.
Right.
So that's my
Appalachian tradition.
That's my whole steez. And you know what? We are trying to apply a permit, and we'll get it eventually. But for right now,
in the meantime, you can't.
There's no
stop
reason
us.
why. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Real shit.
So that's what SOULSHINE is, and this podcast. We're gonna, shooting some reels.
Yeah.
Doing some other footage. Yeah.
You're
gonna learn all about us.
Yeah, man. This interview is sick in the sense of like, it's different, but it's also like such like a learning experience, such a teaching experience. Like it's a dope, very informative niche avenue that you're in, you know?
Yes. And again, I love to pass the culture on. I want to be a mentor,
right,
to all my people,
right,
not just a particular person. When the squad wins, the whole squad wins. That's
exactly
what I want to see. You know what I mean?
100%.
I'm not looking. Man, pass the wealth. That's
right.
all I could say, man. It's not anything about money.
Right.
Let's just get people in good spirits.
Hell
and
yeah.
SOULSHINE spirits.
Real shit. I like that, community oriented, like real shit. Speaking about the conversations that we had involving everything, do you ever cross your avenues, like, you're talking about growing bud, brewing mash, whatever, and then you talk about being in the raver scene and stuff like that. Do you ever want to mix these avenues?
Okay.
Do you ever want to bring the liquor into the music?
It's funny that you just you asked me that question, because right now, in May, we're gonna have my birthday party, but where our SOULSHINE station is, where we're based,
right,
is on a beautiful piece of property, lots of land. We have a jam shed, and getting familiar with that name, the jam shed, because we're going to be filling up the jam shed this summer with local acts, music, and having people just come and vibe with us.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the intent.
I like that. Out here, that'd be like some Woodstock shit, chilling.
We're not far from Woodstock.
Right.
But again, I can go right down the road and get a 100-acre farm that they would let us do a party on.
Right.
my whole thing is my doors were always open growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't make a difference what nationality you were. Everybody was treated exactly the same, whoever rode through my doors.
Right.
And that's what I want to, like I said, I want to keep that same vibe here, where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
My base. I open my doors, come and see what I do. Come and come and hang with me.
Right.
And that's pretty much how I live. I always, they say being a dreamer. Being a dreamer is good. And
I agree.
I don't care what anybody says. Man, if I always dreamt it, I accomplish it.
Right.
Hence, there's not much. I mean, there's always a lot more I could find out and do, whatever. But when I wrap my head around something, yeah, I give it the full potential.
Hell yeah, man. I see that. You've built yourself a beautiful castle here,
Thank
off
you.
of hard work.
Thank you.
Random question that popped in my head because we talked about so much about the mash and different flavors you're working on and stuff like that. Bring it back to the bud. What are you working on?
Okay, right now, in the tent right behind you with the big lights on, those are my mother plants, and there is platinum do-si-do and crystal cookies.
Ooh.
So in the closed tent right now, I have platinum do-si-do going. But as you know, when you pop seeds, each phenode, meaning each plant that grows, could be a slight difference. Even if they're cloned from the seeds, or if the seeds come feminized, they're still going to be a little characteristically different in ways.
Right.
One might have some more trichomes or whatever. Hence, that's why I started with 3 mothers.
Yeah.
And I took cuts from each mother, and we're figuring out which is the best one. When that weed comes to fruition in the closed tent, we'll figure out which the best phenode came from, which mother plant, and then we'll go and start using that particular one to grow.
Nice.
Because we know that's a healthy one. Just,
Yeah.
it exemplifies what you're looking for.
That's dope, man. It's such, it takes a lot of time to master your craft and to, pay attention to these, intricate things, So it's cool. You got, you got real game, or however, I guess younger people would say. But, if you had advice to give to a young, aspiring moonshiner or bud grower, what would it be?
Well, with the bud, everything's a cross hybrid strain, this and another one. Stick with the classics. They'll never do you wrong.
Yeah.
The classics, OGs, sours.
Yeah, I was going to say the sour diesel, man.
Yeah, man. That shit will never steer you wrong.
Right.
With the moonshine, I don't really think there are moonshiners out there, but I don't per se our generation and where we come from.
Yeah.
We're city dwellers.
100%.
Not really the most thing to do. There's so many other routes, but again, the American way. Let's try it out. Let's go for it. And I happen to be good at it. So
Real shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. When it comes more, bring it towards the future now as well, what are some other ways that you feel you want to expand when it comes to any of your brands or any of your avenues, even if it's selling Soul Spirit T-shirts,
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about the brand right now. So our main priority is to get the brand out there.
Right.
We don't have to be legal. As long as you know that SOULSHINE is a good product, you had some and you'd buy it again.
Yep.
And I get that all the time from my whiskey and or my passion juice that we've been lamping on for the last couple of weeks since I made it.
I'm feeling nice and loose, I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Stuff's got me warm and fuzzy. But, man, what was I about to ask? See? Look, I forgot my question because I'm just chilling right now.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. And we didn't even fucking blaze up. The one thing I forgot.
Word up, yeah. We haven't smoked one bit. But, shit, with SOULSHINE and SOULSHINE spirits and expanding, I'm really blanking right now. I had a question, but I forgot it. That's how it goes on the pod. Man, but what do you want to talk about kind of before we leave towards, like, a wrap-up of sorts? Because it is your interview.
Okay, well, a wrap-up of sorts. Well,
Before we get there, just anything you want to talk about.
yeah, no, listen, we are a budding, we're going to say budding, blooming business.
Right.
From the weed transferring over to the shine.
Right.
I want to just make an impact, you know?
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, I love people.
Right.
And, you know, let's make the people happy.
Right.
Too much negativity going on in this world today.
Right. 100%.
Let's be merry, man. Come on.
Too much division. Let's unite some people over the love of shine.
Totally.
Real good time. I don't want to cut myself short because I do feel like I had another question, but shit. We're chilling.
You're good?
We're good. Yeah.
All right.
I'm great. Don't worry. No, this happens all the time on the pod. Like, I blank out and I'd be like, yo, let me think real quick.
Don't worry about it.
But, yeah.
I really enjoyed this.
No, this was great.
And you're going to see my face again. I'm going to be out there. We're going to be out there. The whole SOULSHINE crew. McChoppa is one of us, okay?
Yes, sir.
So we got a lot of things coming up, and you'll see a lot of footage from different areas and different aspects of what funk does.
Yeah.
We talked about the dance music.
Yep.
We're going to have a stage and everything so that we're going to be rocking and dancing.
Yeah.
Right here on the land.
I was about to say, how many acres you think is a good amount for something like that?
I mean, look, if you look at, like, let's say EDC, Electric Daisy Carnival.
Yeah.
Pasquale used to come to my parties at the Roseland.
Oh, shit.
And hand out flyers.
Nice.
Okay? You could go really big.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on how much you want to spend.
Right.
You know, as we all know, it costs money to make money.
Right. You gotta invest, yeah.
I'm like, at this point, you know, I'm a grassroots guy. I like to do everything grassroots. And if you do it grassroots the right way, there's nothing that could steer you wrong.
Awesome. One last question before we wrap it up officially. Where do you see SOULSHINE Spirits going in its peak of sorts? Where do you see it?
I want to be on every liquor shelf across America. That's, you know, I'd love to have that happen. I'd love to have that happen. But, you know, everything in life, there's a journey.
Right.
And we're basically early in this journey.
100%.
But I'm having a hell of a lot of fun. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be on Moonshine's Master Distiller sooner or later. I'm not worried. I haven't even applied to them yet. But
you can get there.
I will rock with anybody that they got. I know all the guys in the show, the stars in the show.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Who doesn't love a Bronx boy?
100%. You're going to bring charisma that isn't there.
That's not there.
That's never been captured there.
Correct.
Yo, real shit.
Correct.
So now that we lead to the wrap up, what do you got going on, Funk, in the next day, week, month, year, century, millennium? It doesn't have to be moonshine related.
Right now, I'm a PCA, meaning a personal care assistant.
Yeah.
I take care of Tom, our partner in
Shout out Tom.
Yep. I wake up every day. Tomorrow. I live my life like this. Tomorrow's gonna happen no matter what.
Right.
It's up to you when you rise to make the best of that day.
100%.
Opportunities come, they go. Some are really worthwhile, and you don't get them.
Right.
But you can't be mad. There's no why have a transference of negative energy.
Right.
And you know what? A lot of this I attribute to the guy that I take care of, Tom. Tommy Boy is resilient. He can't use his arm or his leg. He's pretty much blind, but he loves it. He loves to do anything he can. Meaning, if you tell him he can't do it, he's doing it.
Right.
So I appreciate that piss and vinegar for life, you know?
Yeah, and you guys radiate this energy. Like, you know, this is my second time being in you know, over here. And the first time I came over here, I left with, like, this sense of, like, yo, these guys are sick. Like, I see that in you guys, that you guys take every day and you guys use it to the fullest. You know, you have the space here and you use it to the fullest. And I'm like, yo, these are guys who appreciate, like, what life is and, like, what we really are
Oh,
given.
man, are you kidding me? Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, I like I said, I have lots of ideas.
Yes.
Let's see what the next big one is going to be.
Yeah, man.
You know, but right now, my focus today, now, and everything is our Jam Shed event that we're having. I manage an artist out in South Africa. When she's in America, Rosetta Deep. You could find her on YouTube.
Dope.
Millions of views.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of charisma. And, you know, they say internet relationships. I just discovered Rosetta, like, hearing some music one day, and she happened to be one of the girls that was playing it. And I'm like, wow.
How is that the managerial role?
Work.
Yeah.
You know, for instance, Rosetta just had a gig that was offered to her in Maryland.
Nice.
Okay? Rosetta has to get her visa to get here.
Yeah.
In order to get the visa, you have to have follow specific parameters. They ask a lot of information.
Yeah.
And the government of South Africa don't let their people go like it is, like we could just go to the passport office and take off and go.
Yeah.
So they make it tough. The promoter that books Rosetta was maybe a new guy, like a newbie promoter.
Yeah.
And didn't know how to address the situation. Whereas as a manager, I'm going to ask you questions.
Right.
Everything about the gig, all the specifics, every little detail, the logistics. They weren't prepared. And I was upfront with them. I said, look, the faster you get these logistics taken care of and done, the quicker she has the right information to put on her visa.
Yeah.
He was offended at me, saying that I was operating too fast. And I'm like, I'm just operating like every other manager does, man. Come on,
Yeah,
what are
you're
you
trying
talking
to help
about?
out your artists.
And they did not. Well, they didn't finalize the booking yet. And this is for April, but for May, she's going to be here as well for
Jam Shed Fest.
Our Jam Shed Fest.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm excited to see that in the works, you know?
That is going to be, again, we're a family crew. You know that. You could see that. Like
100%.
So as long as we manage the space the right way and not take and give back, but give back to the land,
Right.
and make sure that it's well taken care of and kept up, and, you know.
Respect. I like that.
And like I said, we talked about farmsteading. We got the ducks. There'll be some goats for the new season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, probably by the time May comes, we'll have a couple of goats roaming around here.
I like that. I know. I like the ducks and the chickens. You got goats would be dope.
Yeah.
For, like, milk and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to get peacocks.
Ooh, that's dope. That'd be sick. Like
Yeah.
Bronx Zoo
You
over
know,
here.
it's so funny. I have an affinity for birds.
They're free.
Fabulous free bird. That's right. But you know what's even more funny is my ducks were part of my recovery. You know, like when you have, they say, get a pet or something, you know, to lighten your life.
Emotional service animal.
Right. And my ducks, yeah.
Those are them.
Those are them.
I love that.
Absolutely.
That's dope, man. And so now, Funk,
Cheers.
thank you for coming on. Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
Burnout. But, this has been a great conversation. It's been really informational, and I want to let you know firsthand that you are inspiration in your lifestyle and how you carry yourself.
Thank you so
Being
much.
against the grain.
Yep.
I love that, and I'm glad to have had you on the podcast. And last time I was here, I had such a fun time and such a great time, and I'm glad that we got to, I guess, memorialize it. Like,
Choppa,
I love it.
It just gets better.
Don't
worry about it.
It's only getting better from here.
We just launched.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah.
This is great.
It's gonna be an epic. It's gonna be an epic summer.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be great. 2025, you heard it here first. And thank you for coming to the Cult of Personality once again. I'm your host, per usual, Mikeymcchoppa, and with me today was Funk and Soulshine Spirits. Not Soul Spirits, Soulshine Spirits.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you again. And firsthand, you could tell that the product's good because I'm slurring my words. Anywho, we'll see you next week. We'll be here. Peace in the Middle East. Love you all. From Appalachia.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And I didn't mention this, but we just launched a Soulshine Spirits Instagram page.
Which will be tagged.
And yeah, you can see me, what I do, basically. Making liquors, making different mashes. You'll all be a part of it. And I want to take your suggestions. Criticisms.
Hell yeah, constructive criticism. You're only on Instagram?
Just makes a better product.
Yeah, you're on Instagram. You're on any other platform?
I am on Instagram. And my Instagram profile will also transfer into the Facebook space too as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I started putting my real name out there right now, and most of you guys know it. But I'm trying to lay low for a second.
Yeah.
I would be giving out my Instagram address, but that's my company's Instagram address.
Yeah, and we'll have all links in the description. We'll have tags on the screen. People will be able to find you.
Yep.
And that was that, man. Thank you guys again.
Man.
Thank you
Pleasure.
for being with me for the last hour. Thank you guys for being with me for the last hour live from Appalachia. We'll see you next week. Gang, gang.